Most conflicts do not begin with hatred. They begin with fear. Two actors face each other. Neither wants destruction. Both want safety. And yet, both prepare for war. This is the paradox at the heart of global politics. In game theory, the prisoner's dilemma describes a situation where rational actors, acting in their own self-interest, end up producing a worse outcome for everyone. Cooperation would benefit both, but mistrust makes cooperation impossible. Each player fears betrayal more than they desire mutual gain. International relations operate under the same logic but with higher stakes. This is known as the security dilemma. In theory, a state arms itself for defense. In practice, this defensive move appears offensive to others. The response is predictable. Rearmament. No one attacks first. Yet everyone escalates. This is not madness. It is rational behavior under uncertainty. The prisoner's dilemma assumes isolation. Two prisoners, no communication, no trust, one decision. The security dilemma assumes repetition, history, and memory. States remember past betrayals. They anticipate future threats, and anticipation becomes destiny. In a world without a global sovereign, there is no final referee, no authority to guarantee trust. So states do what rational actors always do in anarchic systems. They prepare for the worst. This is why peace is fragile and war feels inevitable. The tragedy is not that actors are evil. The tragedy is that rationality itself produces insecurity. Even good will become dangerous. A new missile system may be defensive, but perception matters more than intention. In geopolitics, fear is contagious. The prisoner's dilemma teaches us that cooperation requires trust. The security dilemma teaches us why trust is rare. One is psychological. The other is structural. And structure always wins. This is why arms races persist even when leaders openly declare peaceful intentions. Words cannot override incentives. History is filled with examples. Before World War I, European powers were deeply interconnected economically. They traded. They negotiated. They believed war was irrational. Yet military mobilization followed its own logic. Each state feared being slower than the other. Mobilization became irreversible, and catastrophe followed. No villain was necessary, only structure. The security dilemma reveals something uncomfortable. Peace is not the natural state of the international system. It is an achievement and a fragile one. Cooperation requires institutions, communication, and credible commitments. But even these can fail. Treaties expire. Governments change. Intentions shift. What remains constant is uncertainty. This is where the prisoner's dilemma and security dilemma diverge. In the prisoner's dilemma, repeated interaction can lead to cooperation. Strategies like reciprocity and conditional trust can emerge. In global politics, repetition does not guarantee cooperation. Sometimes it deepens mistrust. Every past conflict becomes a warning. Every concession becomes a potential weakness. This creates a cycle where restraint is punished and aggression is rewarded. Not because aggression is moral, but because it is safer. The security dilemma transforms defensive realism into offensive behavior. States do not want dominance. They want survival. But survival often requires appearing dangerous. This is the cruel irony of power. You must threaten to be left alone. The prisoner's dilemma assumes a shared interest in freedom. The security dilemma assumes a shared fear of extinction. These are not equal motivations. This is why global cooperation often collapses at moments of crisis. Trust evaporates. When it is needed most, the dilemma intensifies with technology. Faster weapons shorten decision time. Automation reduces human hesitation. Artificial intelligence accelerates escalation. The window for trust shrinks. What once took weeks now takes seconds. In such conditions, Rational caution becomes reckless escalation. This is why modern strategy increasingly favors deterrence over trust. If cooperation cannot be guaranteed, fear must be stabilized. Deterrence is not peace. It is frozen conflict. And frozen conflict is still conflict. The security dilemma does not disappear with good intentions. It disappears only when structure changes, either through overwhelming dominance or through a shared authority capable of enforcing rules. Until then, the system rewards suspicion. This is why moral appeals alone fail in geopolitics. You cannot shame a structure. The prisoner's dilemma tells us something about human psychology. The security dilemma tells us something about systems. And systems shape behavior more than beliefs. Understanding this is not cynicism. It is realism. If we want peace, we must design institutions that alter incentives, not just narratives. Otherwise, we repeat the same game, with higher stakes each time. If this analysis reshaped how you understand conflict and cooperation, subscribe to the channel. Here, we examine the logic beneath global behavior, not the slogans. Like the video if you believe fear, not hatred, drives most wars. And stay with us because next we explore chicken game versus brinkmanship, where pride, escalation, and catastrophe collide.